It's Milmer here with another Xcode tutorial. Now in this Xcode tutorial I'll be teaching you how to add iOS 5 Twitter integration into your apps. Now I did just say iOS 5, so this will only work for iOS 5 applications. So don't expect it to work on iPhone 4. However, I do have a failsafe in here that will let the user know that they can't do it. So basically when they press the button it will just say we can't tweet. So yeah. Now before I get into the video, which the last video I did was something like 26 minutes, so I'm trying not to speak a lot, but I am going to go through the framework with you and tell you all the methods and functions that we will be using and tell you how I got them, how I used them in the code. Because with a framework, when you're working with a framework, you're using not normal functions, because you'll be using like methods that are part of the framework. So, and obviously when I'm teaching you this stuff, I'm not just going to give you the method and say there you go, it will work. I'm going to actually teach you where I got it from and how it works and how I got it. So that's what I'll be doing. If you don't want to learn about all that, you can just skip straight to the code part here of the tutorial. That annotation will skip you straight there. But if you do want to learn, then I'll try and keep it fast so we can get straight into the code, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to go to Xcode here, I'm going to create a new project. Single based application will be fine. So the first thing we need to do is add our Twitter framework. So to do that, click on your project up here, the black bar, the greyish bar here. Click on Build Phases, go down to Link Binary with Libraries, click the down arrow, click the plus button, search for Twitter, and under iOS 5 you should find Twitter. So add that. I'm going to put it here in the application. Sorry, yeah, it's been added here now, so I'm just going to drag that down to my frameworks folder. It's going to over here say that it doesn't exist, so I'm just going to delete it and re-add it here. So there you go, that's our Twitter framework. So before we actually get looking at this Twitter framework, I'm going to very quickly add a UI button in here into the view controller, so I'll be back in a minute once I've added that. Hey guys, I'm back, and yeah, basically I've added an IBAction, not a UI button, sorry, I added an IBAction and it's called sendTweet, and I've connected it to this button here on TouchUp inside, so that's all I've done. So now we can get looking at the Twitter framework. So if we extend this here and go into the headers, you will see three headers. One of them is Twitter, the other is Twitter request, and the other was Twitter TWTweet ComposeViewController. If I just extend that a bit. Now in the Twitter.h, all it does is put the other two header files in there so we can call on this view. So when we want to use any of these other files, we just need to import Twitter.h and we can use both of them, as you can see here. Now we're interested in the TWTweetComposeViewController because that is the actual view controller that will be presented on the screen when the user clicks tweet. If you've ever tried out the iOS 5 tweeting from, I don't know, YouTube maybe, or tweeting a picture or something, you'll see the custom view that appears. Now that's what TWTweetComposeViewController is. That will allow us to show that view. I haven't really looked at tweet request. I don't really know what it is, so we're not going to be using that in this tutorial because we're focused on this view here. So let's go into this view. I mean, not this view, this header file. And you can see that most of it is all commented. You can see you've got all the comments here that Apple kindly put in for us to let us know what's happening. So, you know, here we can see ball canSendTweet. This returns if the Twitter is accessible. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to check this ball. If the ball returns yes or true, then we'll go, alright, okay, Twitter is available, let's show the view. If not, then we're going to tell the user that they can't do it either because they don't have iOS 5 or they have no internet connection. This ball statement here called setInitialText, that allows you to set a placeholder text for the user. So let's say you're playing a game or something and you want to tweet your score, you can use this method here to put their score in the tweet for them so they don't have to bother typing it all out. Again, same thing, add image and remove images. So the add image you pass in an image parameter, you can attach an image to your tweet. Remove images removes images from the tweet. And same with URL. Add URL, you can add a link, maybe like a link to the App Store or something, so the user can buy your app or whatever. And obviously remove all URLs, removes the URLs from the tweet. And finally, this one here is probably the most important one, although it looks slightly confusing compared to the others. It's called the TWTweetComposeViewController completion handler. Sorry, and the completion handler is basically something that we will use to work out if the tweet has either sent or the tweet has failed to send. So that's what we'll be using. And this goes all the way up here to all this weird stuff up here. Now, this is the TWTweetComposeViewController completion handler again, you can see. And here you've got this funny symbol. Now, this funny symbol means like a block of code is what it's called. It's literally called a block of code. And if you go down here and you read the comment again, you can see specify a block. So that's what it's called, and basically a block of code is something that will never change. It's like a piece of code that will never change. It'll always do the exact same thing whenever it's called. So that's what the block does. And this block can be called, and every time you check the block, it will either return a TWTweetComposeViewController cancelled or TWTweetComposeViewController done. Now, if the result is cancelled, then we can say, sorry, the tweet failed to send. Or if it equals result done, then we're going to say, oh, tweet sent, well done. There you go. So that's what we're going to be using that for. So there's enough of me blabbering on. Now we can get into the code. So if we go into the .m of our app, first thing we need to do is implement our Twitter view controller, Twitter files, header files. So to do that, we're going to go import. We're going to go into the Twitter framework by going to Twitter. Then we're going to go / and we want the twitter.h, because as I showed you earlier, the twitter.h contains all the files. Now all we need to do is just put in our method that I made, which I called IBAction sendTweet, I believe. There you go, sendTweet. And I don't know why I just put a void there, forget that. So IBAction sendTweet, there you go. So the first thing we need to do is set up our TWTComposeViewController that I just showed you. We need to set up that class, that view controller. So I'm going to type this out. I'm going to speed it up so you can see me doing it, and then I'll be back. So yeah. Hey guys, I'm back, and you probably saw me failing there to put in the string. I almost forgot how to do it. But yes, as you can see, all we've done here is called on the TWTComposeViewController, which we can now do because we've imported the Twitter file up here. I've named it Twitter, and I've allocated and initiated it. Then I've used the setInitialText method, which I showed you, and that allows me to set the text. Again, you don't have to do this, you can leave it as nil and let the user type whatever they want. But that's what I'm using it for. I'm just to say this because I don't have to bother typing it out myself. But remember, if you're using a game or anything, you might want to pass some parameters in here, like the score they just got or the time or something like that. And you can also add a URL, which I showed you. So here you can see I've added the URL for my YouTube. You can also add a picture, so you can see here add image. However, at the moment I don't have an image, so I'm not going to do that. But that will upload it via Twitter, and you know you have the pic.twitters, so that will use the Twitter server to display your image for you. So now what we need to do is check if the tweet can send tweet. So if it can send tweet, then we're going to show it. If it can't send the tweet, then we're not going to show it. So I'm going to type that out, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay guys, I'm back, and yeah, I didn't bother speeding that up because I thought the tutorial might get too long. So yep, as you can see here, I have an if statement here, And this if statement checks if the canSendTweet thing is valid. If it is true, then we're going to present the view controller Twitter with all our text and stuff in it. Otherwise, if it's not, then we're going to show an alert here and we're going to say, sorry, this is only available in iOS 5 and a good connection. So that kind of counters for both problems, if they run out of internet connection or they don't have iOS 5. And we also need to return back to the ball statement here, so that's what the return is for. And the final thing we need to do now, guys, is check if the Twitter.completion handler is equal to either result done or result cancelled. Now I showed you that before, that was the block of code. So I'm going to type that out and I'll be back to you in a minute. Okay guys, I'm back, and as you can see I've typed out quite a lot of stuff here, but it's really simple if you look through it. So first we get the completion handler of the Twitter class, Twitter view controller that I showed you earlier. And we call this block of code that I showed you, there's that funny symbol again, and we name it res, just for the sake of naming it res, and then we open the brackets, and then we go if res is equal to result done, which I showed you where you get these from, then we're going to display an alert that will say, well done, successfully tweeted, whatever. Otherwise, if it's equal to result cancelled, which again I showed you where you can get, we're going to say, oh dear, tweet failed, please try again later. So, and then outside of these if statements, we're going to get rid of the Twitter view controller, so it goes back to the normal app. Pardon me, and we're going to release the Twitter as well. And don't forget the semicolon here at the end of the bracket for the block of code, the block here. Don't forget the semicolon down there. So there you go, that's that, guys. I hope you know that was useful for you. I hope it wasn't too long, too lengthy. And yep. So thanks for watching. This won't work on the simulator. As you can see, I've got Twitter open for the demonstration here. This won't work in the simulator, this app, so don't worry if it doesn't work, because the simulator doesn't have Twitter integration. However, I'm going to build it on my iPod now, and I'm going to show you on my Twitter stream. I'm going to show you on that. So as you can see, the last tutorial, you know, here, 26 minutes long, a bit crazy. But it's just loading here, guys. And to show you I can actually edit the tweet, I'm going to delete the coming soon and put, well, okay, let me just add 3 exclamation marks on the end instead. That'll just be quicker. So I've got it open here. I'm clicking send tweet. I have the nice sendTweet, I have the nice Twitter view controller open here. I can fully rotate it. I know you can't see this, guys, it's a bit annoying, but yeah. So I've got 37 characters left, it's telling me, so I can now add my extra 2 exclamation marks, and I'm going to add a smiley face on the end as well. So there you go, smiley face and 2 exclamation marks to show you I edited it. Now I'm going to send the tweet, and you should hear a little like bird if you listen carefully. There you go, there's a little bird. And I got the alert view telling me it's successfully sent, so let me refresh my Twitter stream here. Let's see if, there you go, there it is, 11 seconds ago, so that shows you that, you know, it was, what, 11 seconds ago. I've just sent it from the app that we just made, guys. There's the 3 exclamation marks and the smiley face. There's the link, that all worked. So, yes, there you go, that's how you do iOS 5 Twitter integration. So, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And speaking of Twitter, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at FailcakeApps. And again, thanks for watching, and see you in my next tutorial.